What up, Skin? Welcome to Bar Vibes with Brice IV, giving out raw reaction and interacting with the masses. No subject is safe. You'll hear the people and the noises, but that's the point because without the people, what is the point? Embrace some vibrations. Let's go. Yeah, it's a little different here. I know you see Eagles mem out here, numero uno back here. That's because we are at Mama Vic and Papa Craig's bar in Jacksonville, Florida. Yeah, not the first state. Not the first state. We're in Florida right now. And, they got a bar in their crib. And I was like, hey, we down here. Why not just have it at your bar? Makes sense to me. If it doesn't make sense to you, I really don't care. As always, we start off with NFL. And as you know, always, we start off with the Eagles. Again, it's the off season, but got to get to them Eagles. Back to that Kelly Green. Officially today. Or yesterday, excuse me, and it was hilarious because they got leaked on Saturday, and they were pissed. I mean, Facebook, Twitter, everything. They were leaking the pictures, so they had no choice but to actually put out the pictures early. Doesn't really matter. The pro shop, they opened at 9. People were out there sleep at 3:30 waiting for the pro shop to open. If you've never been to the pro shop at the link, it is not a big place to be. So if you didn't get in there fast enough, like I watched the videos, it looked like it was a game in that bitch. It was wild, and big ups to anybody who got them jerseys because they were regular price jerseys. It wasn't like they were running up the price, and you can still order them online, which is pretty dope. I hope people out there are gonna get them. I'm definitely gunning for one. I'm gunning for one of them jerseys because come those 2 games they play, one against Miami, and I hope Miami wears their throwbacks, and come against the Bills, I hope the Bills wear their throwbacks. Going to be dope. Also, you'll hear the people. I got my guy, my step pops, Mr. Craig in the building, Young Jeezy out here, and I got my lady Booba. I told him, that's the point of this, because without the people, what's the point? You already know. And then Jalen Carter is impressing the veterans. I heard a lot of veterans saying, he is starting to understand the game. Obviously, he's a physical specimen. Pause. But he's saying the right things, especially when he was like, yeah, we're going to beat up them Cowboys too, because that's the culture of being a Philadelphia Eagle. Also, Nakobe Dean, he seems to be ready for his role. It's not a new role. He's been a middle linebacker, but he's going to get that green sticker, and if you don't know what that means he's going to be the one communicating with the defensive coordinator on the sideline, where he gives the plays, he gets the reads, he gives you the direction. That is his new role, and it seems like he's very comfortable doing that. The battle between Cam Jurgens and Tyler Steen for right guard, it seems like Jurgens has he's leading it, but I also heard that Lane Johnson, the right tackle, said that he prefers a bigger person next to him at guard, which would be Steen, the lineman that we drafted out of Alabama. So we'll see about that. Running back room is crowded. Between Swift, between Penny, between Gainwell, between Scott, and a couple others. It's curious to see because I don't know if they're going to keep 3 or are they going to keep 4. Especially the fact that we have some promising receivers, which segue to that. Quez Watkins has stepped up as a surefire number 3. He's gotten a little bigger, still got the speed, and I feel like he understands, the assignment that, hey, my job is on the line and I need to be better. Sean Desai, the defensive coordinator, has said that the defensive locker room has embraced his approach. He's given them a lot of work, day to day, especially with the new playbook. But a couple people are saying like this is not a lot. Or a couple people are saying, I appreciate you giving us this workload and that you feel like we can handle it. And everybody is very positive about it. And Nick Sirianni is treating the team like men, especially the veterans, but he's also holding them accountable. He's a video of him, and I could see many veterans in the video where he's like, this needs to be perfect. Because if it's not perfect now, it's not going to be perfect when we implement it in a game. So get it done now. I know it's only the 3rd day of training camp, but today is the day you need to get it right. So it is what it is. Fly Eagles fly on the road to victory. Go Birds. As far as the rest of the NFL goes, this whole running back situation thing is is absurd. But on the other hand, as a person who's, didn't play football, I'm not a professional. It was kind of be expected. You could go through plenty of years where a number one running back got hurt, and then they put in the backup, and he did just as well, if not better, as the starter. So then that gives ownership leverage. It gives GMs leverage. It gives coaches leverage to be like, hey, if you're not going to work hard, if you're not going to give me the effort that I'm asking for everybody to give, I'm going to put the third round, I'm going to put the seventh round guy in, and you're going to look stupid, and you're not going to get paid. And that's what's happening a lot right now. There are a handful of players, i.e. Saquon Barkley, where he needed to get his bread. The Giants last year would have been shit without him. I don't care what you say about Daniel Jones. I don't give a shit. You could even name me the top 3 Giants receivers. So I don't want to hear it. Saquon should have got his money, and he did. Kind of look into the contract, and you understand why I said that. But Derrick Henry, not even 30 yet. He might want to get some bread. There's some running backs out there that need to get their money, but at the same time, they could be replaced at any given moment. It is what it is. Injuries in training camp, they happen all the time. You just hate to hear it happening to top-notch players. I saw Joe Burrow with the calf strain, and it's going to sideline him for a couple weeks. But luckily for the Bengals, that happened early in training camp, so people shouldn't be worried. But I did see that fans were offering up their calves to Joe Burrow via Twitter, like talking to the Bengals. People, read some books. Not possible. As much as you want to do it. I remember when hand up when Carson went out with his ACL, I was like, hey, I'll give him my ACL right now. As long as he can play. That's not how medicine works. That's how not medicine works. Jalen Ramsey, Dolphins. He had a meniscus tear, and he's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks. That's December. And we're talking about a player top 3 at his position, if not top 2, and maybe not even top 2. He might be 1. Hasn't played a down for the Dolphins. And now he has to wait until December to actually be 90% healthy. That sucks. But that's the name of the game when you go try to practice, go as hard as you can, because if you don't, you're gonna get hurt even more, and that's just a fact. And it's just terrible, for a top 3 cornerback. The San Francisco Trey Lance thing. You went out, you traded up for a top 3 quarterback, you put him on the bench behind Jimmy Garoppolo, saying you're going to be the next guy, and then you draft the Mr. Irrelevant last pick in the draft. He does well while your third pick is out, and now he's the starter. So what do you do with Trey Lance? Oh, he's going to be competing for the backup position. That is bad GM management. Terrible. Because then, do you shop him? Do you let him compete for the starting job? No, because they've already said Brock Purdy is number 1 as long as he's healthy. And he's got a couple setbacks because he fractured his ankle. Trey Lance did. Apparently, Brock Purdy came back early from his injury, which is an elbow, which is way worse. And I think he probably should sit down. And for me, in my perspective, it's him like, I need to lock this position down before they replace me again. It might happen. But for your third round overall, 1, 2, 3 overall pick to be competing in his third year for a backup position, that's not really good. Good luck to San Fran, but not really. I don't really care. Figure it out. How about that? I had a really weird thought when I was like watching highlights and stuff. When you like get touchdowns and stuff, they're smacking the shit out of your helmets. Do you not think that contributes to some concussions and stuff, like, and your hand injuries? Like, what? Listen, again, didn't play football like that, but hey, man, just give him a pat on the back, on the pads, not on the helmet. They smacked the head button. I get it, it's energy, but sometimes it's not really warranted. It is what it is. Do not ask me if I watched the Netflix show Quarterback. I may never watch it. I hear that the players the interviews and the way they go through the season are nice, and Kirk Cousins and all that. I know what happens at the end. I'm still butthurt. It is what it is. So in some other random sports news, I saw that the USA baseball team 12 unders beat New Zealand 43-1, and I was like, damn, that's fire. And then you go through the comments, people are like, damn, they're not good enough. They let New Zealand get a point. I was like, that actually is pretty funny, and it's kind of true. But 43 runs in a 9 inning game Either way, 7 or 9, 10, 15, 43 runs. Their coach was like, fuck it. Run it up. The Phillies are going to give me a heart attack. They have games where they tough, grinded out wins, like in the Padres series or in the game in extras against the Guardians, where they were down, but it was like, don't give up. We got it. We were going to get the hits. Pitchers are going to pitch, and they got it done. And then you have games like they did yesterday against the Pirates. It was bases loaded, extras, no one out, and then all of a sudden, everyone is out. Base running is trash. Your third base coach obviously had a part in that. That's trash. Need to get it together. Trey Turner needs to get out of his head. The bats are wasting really, really good pitching. Not great. Good pitching. And they're now standing a half game out of the wild card with almost 60 games left. Get it together, Phils. But still, ring that bell, my guys. The Women's World Cup, they're doing well. I didn't like the tie that they had, but it's okay. They're going to get out of the group stage, or they did. But their next game is at 3 o'clock in the morning, which I wish I could watch, and I might try to watch. But 3 a.m. is wild, especially because it's just a scheduling thing. They can't do anything about that, and I would love to watch it. But Women's World Cup, going for their third straight, and I think they're going to get it. I got to get on my golf talk just a little bit. Brian Harman with the Open Championship, he was saying the British people were chirping the shit out of him. He wasn't saying anything back. He was like, I'm an American. I'm going to go out here and win y'all a chip. What's up, my boy? Get in here and talk to you real quick. Just say what's up to the people, everybody. It's my guy. It's my little brother, Braxton. Say what's up. Yeah, man. There you go. I appreciate you, my guy. Liverpool with some great moves. You know who Liverpool is? That's okay. Liverpool with some great moves this offseason. They had Mac Allister. They signed from Brighton. And they had Dominic Soboslai. Say his name right, Soboslai, from Leipzig. They're already gelling this preseason. I don't know if you guys got a chance to watch Liverpool preseason right now, but they look like they've been playing together for a while. They beat Leicester 4-0 just a few days ago. And, of course, the good comes with the bad. They lose Henderson and Fabinho in the midfield to the Saudis after already losing Bobby in the season to the same league. Even Mane, who left Liverpool to go to Bayern, is now leaving Bayern to go to the Saudis, which for him is understandable because Bayern had already told him, I'm not coming back, or we're not bringing you back, excuse me. But the biggest controversy out of that comes the fact that Henderson was a huge advocate for the LGBTQ community, and then you get an opportunity to play in a league who completely punishes people for such things as promoting things like that. You're like, the money's good enough. You hate to see it. I mean, it's his decision, but people in Liverpool are not happy about this. He's a legend, but legendary things can only go so far. But at the end of the day, our front three rotation, dirty. Diaz, Nunez, Jota, among others, Gakpo's out there. Yeah, as long as we can get a midfield that's not going to be hurt all season, we'll be all right. You never walk alone. Boxing, Terrence Crawford beats Errol Spence in the 9th round TKO to take him to 40-0, which is remarkable. He knocked him down. He knocked Spence down 3 times. Spence has had 29 fights, never been knocked down. He got knocked down 3 times in this fight. Bud Crawford is now obviously pound for pound undisputed best fighter today, and it might be perhaps in the history when it's all said and done. You never know. I mean, 40-0 is just wild, and he boxed that man up, had him on his feet, wobbling, looking like a newborn horse. It was bad. I've been tuning into. I've obviously had to find some weird sports to watch, so I've been watching the Major League Wiffle Ball, and I gotta say it's pretty dope. I'm not even gonna lie. When you learn the rules and like the outs and like the fact that you can't throw the ball like a certain amount of speed, it's pretty dope. I think it was dope that they came to Philly. I don't know if you've never been to the Philly Stadium. They have a wiffle ball field for the kids, but it's big enough to play I'm not even gonna quote that, professional wiffle ball. And they came there for a series, and they continue to expand. I like it for the younger kids because it's something that you can do. Like, it's something that you do regularly. That's how they started. It was something that they played in their cul-de-sac, and they're like, why not take it to the next level? And they did, and it's been since 2009, and it's good. And I'm glad that the younger kids are seeming to attach to it. My closing notes. Diana, if you don't know who Diana is, she's a stone-cold foosball killer, and she will spike a foosball if her team needs a boost, she was swinging her arms up like fucking. She was cheering for her favorite team, and then yelling at her partner like her life was on the line. So good for her. It was hilarious. Huge shout out to Philly's Finest Bar. That's the name of it, Philly Finest Bar in Jacksonville, Florida. They are nothing but Phillies in there. They had jerseys on jerseys in there. They had the pennants up there. All Philly 4 teams that you could think about. Of course, they had the cheesesteaks and the strombolis. Cheesesteak was up to par. I'll give it that. But the games in there, football, they have to be fire. It's just people from Jacksonville and surrounding areas going to this one bar that supports Philly everything. It was dope. Even on a rainy day, it was dope. So an even bigger shout out to my mama, to Jeezy, to my brothers and my cousins who were down here, support my mom for giving away her crown and her pageantry. And an even bigger shout out to my lovely Booba who joined me today and joined me, on this trip. I love her and I love everyone who, came around. It was great. So great times in Jacksonville, Florida. Big ups to the first state. Actually, big ups to the 27th state. Stay focused and be great. Take a sip. Much love from the kid. Enjoy your day. Enjoy life. I'm out from the 5th largest city by area. Bet you didn't know that.